Hi, and welcome to everyone who is joining us for Reload's two-part webinar series, Thrive and Survive. It's no news that the e-commerce industry is going through a pretty major disruption right now, thanks to COVID-19. And like all people in marketing right now, things are pretty chaotic here at Reload. But as we speak with our partners, clients, and industry friends, we're trying to provide you with the insights and tips on how to navigate through this pretty crazy period. So on today's webinar, we'll be talking through three key areas. Firstly, the trends we're currently noticing across the e-commerce space, then talking about how we can be agile with your marketing in the short term, and then finishing up with planning for long-term success. So my name's Emily and I'm a strategic lead here at Reload Digital, the multi-award-winning digital marketing agency. And today I'm joined by Klaviyo, ARK Skincare and Shopify. Thanks guys for joining me. Do you mind now introducing yourselves and describing in one word for something fun as what the last 3 weeks have been like for you? Do you want to start off, Phil?
Sure. So Phil Greenwood, I'm a partner manager with Klaviyo. And I guess the first word that comes to mind is resourceful. Not for a scarcity of things to do, but this has changed the way you have to cook and try to get creative and keep yourself interested in things. So resourceful would probably be my word.
Nice, like that. Katie?
Hi, I'm Katie Sangers. I co-run the indie skincare brand ARK Skincare, which is a UK skincare, award-winning UK skincare brand. And my word would be intense.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Hey everyone, so I'm Juan. I am an account executive on the Shopify retail team. I am focusing my time right now on primarily helping brick and mortar retailers transfer to go online and deploy immediate strategies to deal with COVID-19. So I'm on the front line with Shopify merchants all day long. And excited to be here.
Nice, thanks guys. So we've got a good mix across our three panelists and excited to chat through things. But before I do, just want to let everyone know who's joined that we'll be running a couple of polls throughout the webinar. So please do join in. And if you've got any questions, head over to LinkedIn as the Reload team will be on there answering them. And we'll also put the link in the chat here now. So to kick things off, let's talk about the current state of e-commerce and consumer confidence. So it's no surprise that during a pretty uncertain time, consumer confidence is down. Phil, this is obviously quite worrying for e-commerce brands, but research that you guys have been doing at Klaviyo showing some industries are being affected more so than others. Can you talk us through that?
Sure. So I think to start, it's important to know this is all obviously unprecedented. So, we are all in this together as partners. Obviously, I think as a community, it's been cool to see how everybody's rallied around this. So one initiative that we've been focused on pretty early on was to share out data, results, and insights from our partners, our merchants, and just the whole community. So we have a daily survey we've been conducting to gather consumer behaviors and the impact this is having on merchants. So we're a few weeks in and the data has been interesting, really just while we try to make sense of the short and long-term impacts. But a couple examples that we've been picked up that we've noticed is that consumer spend is up overall. As a vast majority of brick and mortar shops obviously go through a bit of a change with the exception of essential stores. The rest are now closed. So consumers have had to move their spending online, and according to our survey data, nearly 70% of consumers have responded indicating they're spending more, significantly more online. I include myself in that statistic, and similar to a lot of people now working from home, whether it's making small purchases to kind of make work from home life comfortable, or if you have kids or a garden, just things to keep busy. So we're seeing a whole new vertical emerge of what we're calling the new essentials. And so consumers are, shifting their spend over to, products such as toilet paper, food and beverage delivery, really contrasting to the traditional non-essentials, such as fashion, apparel, luxury, jewelry, who have taken a bit of a hit, and I think a big hit for a lot of these brands. So, there's a whole new, product line that has really taken off when it comes to toys, hobbies, health and fitness, sporting goods. And like I mentioned, just the things around the house that people now find themselves with more time on their hands. So just trying to stay busy. So we've seen a big spike in the sales for what we're calling the new essentials to an extent.
So basically spending is up, but I guess it's about where people are actually choosing to spend their money is a bit more of a question, or it's changing every week anyway. So really important for brands to be closely monitoring, I guess, search trends and their own data to be across that and kind of adapt accordingly. Katie, at ARK, you guys are obviously operating in the kind of beauty space. What trends are you noticing?
Well, online for us has been stable, which has been fantastic. Our business is split into three main areas. We've got online, which is direct to customer. Then we sell to salons and spas all over the UK who buy either in pro size to use in treatments, or they buy retail size and retail in their establishments as well. So as you can imagine, that's incredibly hard for all our partners there because they are now closed. But so that part of the business definitely is we've seen a real drop, but we are doing what we can to support our partners, and we're doing some initiatives to help them keep in contact with their customers and using our website to send out products directly to them. So we're doing what we can to mitigate that, and also to support them long term, because we don't just want to take their customers and drive them to our site, because that would be very short-sighted. So we want to make sure we're doing what we can for the foreseeable until we get out the other side of that to support them. Online for us has been stable, which is fantastic. Obviously we, like everyone else, very nervous to see how customers are going to behave in this very unusual time. Often when we talk about the consumer confidence, people talk about the lipstick index, which I'm sure most people are aware of, which us as a skincare brand kind of come under that that broad term, really. So kind of affordable luxuries that people still tend to buy during economic downturn. So it's things like lipstick, perfume, skincare, whereas they tend to shy away from those bigger expenses, things like cars or white goods. So I think, as Phil said, that it's all bets are off basically, because this is just so different from anything we've all gone through before, and even the economic impact is so different. So although that's interesting to kind of think about that and look back how different brands and different sectors have survived, I think in previous economic downturns, I think this situation is just completely unique. So it will be very interesting to see if that lipstick index indicator is still stays true. I would say very early days, but we're seeing that our customers are still buying through our website. We're lucky that we have the website's always been a really big part of our business anyway, so it's not like we're having to convert people who would usually be going to bricks and mortar over to online. And what we've really done is to try and make sure that we're being relevant for our customers. So I don't believe it's the time to do a hard sell. I think we're all worried about our businesses. We need our businesses to survive and thrive, but it's not the right time to do knee-jerk reactions. We very much try to take the long view, even though we have no idea how long this situation might go on for. So we've really tried to look at how can we serve our customers, what is useful for us to provide for our customers. So whether that be education pieces, more content pieces, so we know everyone's at home, how can we be entertaining or
Yeah.
giving people information.
So making sure you're just really relevant to that
Yeah.
customer's current need.
Rather than a hard sell on products, because I think it's just incredibly important to be sensitive about any marketing activity, because it's, I think, to be tone deaf in these situations and kind of not be aware of what people are going through will long-term damage brands that don't quite get that right. So I think sensitivity is a really important word for us in terms of how we're approaching everything during this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree with that. We've got to just be present for brands rather than a hard sell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so talking through a bit of what we're currently noticing at the moment, let's now move more on to, I guess, speaking about how brands can be agile during this period. So in your role at Shopify, you work closely with a lot of retailers who've had to adapt pretty quickly to kind of overcome that lack of sales. Can you talk us through that?
Yeah, for sure. Excuse me. Also, I forgot to mention my one word. And that one word is roller coaster. It's definitely been a roller coaster this past week. So many ups and downs. But yeah, so for sure, I think, like it's a very tough time for everyone, not just brick and mortar retailers, but really everyone out there. We have a list of 10 actionables that we've been sharing with brick and mortar retailers that are now trying to transfer their whole business online as quickly as possible. But today, I'll just share with you 3 quick tips. One being a gift card strategy. The second one is a referral program. And then the third one is a hyper local email campaign or potentially an ad campaign that you might want to run. So first one being gift cards, and I'm sure we've all sort of seen this type of email, but if a lot of your customers are used to buying from you through a brick and mortar store and are not so used to buying from you online, but they are loyal customers, just ask them to buy a gift card from you to support you as a small business. And if you need cash flow for something, just be vulnerable and transparent with them on why you need that. I'm sure that there's businesses out there that we go to on a weekly or bi-weekly basis or even monthly, whatever. And for me as a consumer, I don't want any of these businesses to go out of business because A, I like them, but B, I know how important it is for the economy. So really lean into that. We have seen some brands that are doing sell a $100 gift card and get $120 when we reopen. So that's a really great initiative, and we've definitely seen some success. The second one would be, so try to use a loyalty app. There are many out there. You want to think omnichannel, one that would work for your point of sale system and online. But the point here is make your customers that have already been purchasing from you. So find those top spenders and then make them your voice for this new online chapter of your business. So get them to share your social posts and reward them that way. There are tools out there that will allow you to do that, or just put together a pretty simple referral program with an online link for those top spenders. That has definitely seen some good rewards for people who are trying it out. And then lastly, I would say would be lean into that local customer base that you have. So people are wanting to support their local businesses, right? And I also think, this is an ongoing topic, at least here in Canada, and I think all over the world, but Amazon hasn't been able to ship as fast for non-essential items. So that's also forcing people to once again look for local. But regardless, I think that for a brick and mortar retailer, it would be nice to acquire new customers, but you should think of the customers that you already have that are buying from you at that store. So use an email marketing tool, whether that's Klaviyo or whatever else, and then create a segment of those people that have been buying from you, and then make that email campaign very hyper local. So again, supporting local, why they should support local, and be transparent. That has shown a lot of success for the brands that are trying it out. And then very quickly, I would say, last thing is something that gets overlooked sometimes is extending your return policy for brick and mortars. Okay, I think that's something that gets overlooked quite often.
And I think that's relevant for brands across brick and mortar and also that don't have brick and mortar stores. Regardless, yeah, you should be thinking about your returns policy. And then, yeah, back to your point about the localized campaigns. I think that's a great one. And yeah, all brands can really be taking advantage of that. Cool. So I guess, yeah, really important that we're, yeah, being agile across that space. Katie, at ARK, what I guess have been the key marketing initiatives that you've had to adapt during COVID-19?
Well, what I'd say is any marketing activity went out the window, and we just started on a blank piece of paper, because that seemed like the best thing to do, because, you know, as we know, it's just the normal conversations, the normal topical things, the normal seasonal things that we would normally plan around. The focus has definitely shifted.
Well, normal consumer behaviour was out the window.
Exactly, absolutely.
Everything had to change.
So it comes back to that point that we based our activity around what could we do to help customers, how can we serve customers. And so we identified, we sell hand products, we've got amazing hand cream, hand wash, hand lotion. So we did a really popular gift with purchase, so that we ran with a small threshold, so £20, which is low for us. Our normal average transaction sits at around £69, so £20 is low. We wanted to make it low, so it's, you know, a lot of people would engage and take value from it. That was incredibly popular because we've had great press on that product in the past, so people felt that it's got a good value around it. And we had really nice stories about people buying it and then giving their free one to a key worker, or really nice feedback about just really grateful to have a product that's relevant, that's great quality. So that was really popular for us. And we're also doing care packages. Obviously, so many people can't see the people they love, people are celebrating birthdays or other big calendar events alone. So we've put together bundles that can be posted, that you can put a sneaky message in the address field. So on Shopify, instead of putting someone's surname in the surname field, you put it in the first name, so you can write a very short message. And again, they've been very popular, and we're doing a competition to gift those to key workers, so that we're asking people to nominate key workers, tell the world why they're so proud of them, and that's being run on our social channels, it hand in hand with the fact that people can buy these care packages and give them to people as well. So all of those things did not exist in our marketing plan more than 3 weeks ago. So, but we are a tight-knit team, so we're very able, like everyone has had to, but we're able to kind of jump on things quite quickly and go from concept to kind of getting it out there. Yeah, so those are some of the things that we've been looking at. And I think, as I mentioned before, kind of a real focus on content, added value, making sure that we're entertaining, whether that's through Klaviyo, whether it's on our social channels, really kind of building out the information that we can give to people. And maybe it's not about products at all, maybe it's about how to survive working from home, maybe it's in the product, really kind of mixing up the texture of the content that we're putting out as well.
So really trying to align, I guess, your marketing and your content to the current needs of your customers. Like thinking about how can you help them. And that being the starting point of this new phase, really, what can we do to be helpful in this current situation, and take it from there. And then, like, I guess pairing that with more of your e-commerce tactics, like your free gift with purchase, lowering barrier to entry with minimum orders, like that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So really needing to all brands to pretty much adapt, change overnight. It's a pretty big ask, but I guess ultimately it's the brands that are able to do that quite quickly is going to ultimately lead to that longer term success and see us through this pretty tumultuous period. So I think, Phil, at Klaviyo, you guys talk a lot about keeping a brand's most valuable customers engaged. I think, that's important no matter whether we're going through this time or not, but probably now more so than ever. What are your tips for doing this?
Sure. So to Juan's point earlier, I think that this has changed the way a lot of us think, and I think really gotten us all to rally around some of our local brands, that we want to support. We want to find ways to give back, and I think we all, again, can see how the supply chains are just being disrupted. So for a lot of these direct-to-consumer brands, especially ones that have done well, to build relationships, to understand what their interests are with customers, and obviously how to create those experiences that bring people coming back for more. I think it's just tweaking that same strategy with how you look at that data and how you think about those engagement points. So we've seen some great examples. I think to Kate's point earlier, like the way that some certain products and certain verticals are able to kind of naturally fold into this with what people are looking for help with is a great place to start. So just highlighting ways to give back, thinking about how to build a cause around something, that your brand stands for. And I think just focus less on the quick wins and the sales, and really just try to build up that connection, keeping retention kind of front and center, not just retention of sales, but retention of that relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a big one, because I guess ultimately, like, your customer might not buy or want to buy right now, but if you're maintaining that relationship, then they're going to be coming back to you when they are ready to buy.
Exactly. And we're all spending more time online as it is. So, there's a lot of opportunity to build a new community, or at least build on the one you already have existing across social media. So investing in that community, building relationships across the board. So just being creative, I think focusing your efforts and just trying to create something new for people to engage with, and don't lose out on that opportunity again, to stay top of mind when things inevitably correct, right? We don't know how long this is going to last, but I think we're all looking for those distractions, and I think some brands have really capitalized that and in a good way that we can empathize with. And I think that also, it just changes the way your content looks. Again, I think Katie's done a really good job explaining how ARK has adjusted this, but make sure your content is embracing the new normal for a lot of us. So just whether it's revisiting from a marketing side your whole editorial calendar, but just making sure that your marketing is in the right tone, it's in the right spirit, and that you're not focusing too much on the wrong effort. So you're really thinking about that data and understanding who that audience is that you want to connect with and why.
Yeah, okay, for sure. Cool. And Juan, what about from Shopify's perspective, why is it important that brands are really keeping that loyal customer engaged? What are your tips for doing this?
Yeah, for sure. So I think, I think keeping your customers engaged is something that's always important for sure, but now more than ever before, like Phil and Katie have said, people are hanging out more online by default. So every touch point that you have out there is very important. I think for us, what we've been talking about with our customers is really being aware of omni-channel and making sure that every touch point that you have through each different marketing channel that you're using is very aligned. So a really good example of this that I think I'd encourage every brand out there that's listening to this to check out is Kotn, Kotn. They're they're actually a Toronto-based brand. They do have 3 locations across Canada, but what they've done is they actually, before this all happened, they had something called a 9 to 5 kit, and they had a big email campaign push out for that, and it was just targeting people for their day-to-day job apparel. They've since switched that to something called a cozy kit, and they're branding it as house appropriate and Zoom approved. And I think I've done a really phenomenal job of this. So like all their email marketing is very aligned about working from home, but also in an ethical way, in a very sort of vulnerable way, making sure that they're also talking about how they're protecting their partners, their supply chain, and what this means long-term for the brand. But yeah, if you go to email, you'll experience this sort of work from home email flow that's very fitting with what's happening. Of course, same thing with their Instagram. They also have this great shoppable feed, and then they've also created this story where they're getting other local business owners from Toronto to talk about what's happening to their businesses and how to adapt to living at home. So I think they've taken this work from home / living at home approach right now and tackled it from different channels, and I think it's working really well. Another brand that I'd also recommend to quickly check out is Vessi Footwear. So they do waterproof shoes, but something cool that they've done is I believe it's 30 or 40% off. I can't remember right this second, but you can either pay full price, and 30 or 40% of that price is going to go towards donating masks, or you can get that 30 or 40% off the price. So they're leaving it up to the consumer to decide. And worth checking out. I think it's a very interesting tactic that they've done.
That's really nice.
Yeah, for sure. There are a few others out there. I've definitely seen brands also just adapt completely their business, but I think these two, definitely check them out. You could take some stuff away from that for sure.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and so across like the multiple channels as well, so adapting that product offering, or whether it's content, but yeah, communicating that across many different channels in their marketing mix. Is that right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think regardless of where your customers are, they should be getting the same experience. It's very important for that right now, and that same messaging should be aligned again through every channel. And I think, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I've been spending more time on Twitter all of a sudden, and like, these channels that maybe I haven't spent time in as much, but I think as a brand right now, you should be thinking about every single channel.
Yeah, you need to get that same brand experience no matter where you are. Yeah.
For sure.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, some great insights shared there. Thanks, guys. I think we've got time for one last question super quickly. So I think relevant to ask all of you, and keen to hear what you've got to say here, but I suppose, yeah, we've touched on really providing that lasting relationship with your customers, particularly if they're not always ready to ready to buy right now, or if they are buying, but really creating that lasting customer experience, and customer service plays a big part in that, again, whether they're buying or not. Can you give your top one tip for brands in providing exceptional customer service? Shall we start off with you, Phil?
Sure. Obviously, a big part of Klaviyo is just being able to understand, data, customers, everything that where they're at with your brand. So I think the main piece is doing, treating that with care and communicating with empathy, because at the end of the day, I think this is all, again, a really weird time for us all. So don't go for the quick win and the quick sale. So just communicate with empathy throughout is a big part there.
Nice, thanks. And Juan?
Yeah, I think that's a really good one, Phil. But I think packaging is extremely important right now, because it's really the only physical connection you're going to get with a customer. So really putting your brand story and outlining that within your packaging, however that can be done, I think is very important to continue to create that connection with the customer when they get that package. So that, that's an opportunity there, I think, to continue creating that relationship with customers long.
Yeah, great. Thank you. And Katie?
I think honesty, I think in terms of customer service, that's always really important. But I think, as Phil was saying, the vulnerability side of things, everybody that you speak to, in terms of if you're phoning up a brand or you're emailing a brand, they're most likely going to be working from home, and the normal kind of procedures are slightly going to be a bit more elongated. So I think being really honest with your customers about that, and just reassuring them that that's still incredibly important, and it's not that the normal high standards have fallen off in any way. It's just that we're all dealing with something that's very difficult to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So I think being straight, honest, good communication, sensitivity, as we said before, I think is important.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone is aware of what's going on right now, so it's by no means a surprise, but I think, so important that brands are being upfront and just being realistic with what
exactly.
And as long as brands are doing that, I'm pretty sure that most consumers will be flexible with changing delivery times and return period and stuff like that. Yeah, so I love that one. Cool. Well, yeah, a big thank you to the three of you, our three panelists, for joining today, and for everyone who will be joining and tuning in to this. So we've covered a fair bit in the last 30 minutes. It's gone by very quickly. But I guess just a few, three last things from me before we wrap up today. So firstly, our second webinar is going to be on the 6th of May, hopefully you can all see that now, where we'll be discussing how brands can plan for recovery. And I'll be talking with hair care brand Philip Kingsley and email platform .digital. So don't forget to register for that. We'll post the link to join that. Secondly, additional content, we've got plenty of it. I know that in particular, both Klaviyo and Shopify are sharing content pieces as well. And of course, Reload sharing weekly content pieces. So we'll send through a follow-up for that in an email. And of course, any questions, please just head over to LinkedIn and the Reload team will answer them there. And lastly, if you guys have enjoyed this webinar, please, we'd love for you to leave a review on Google. Share your thoughts. We really want to hear your feedback. So, of course, if you've got any additional feedback in terms of what else you want to hear, please do let us know, because we'll be able to provide that in the weeks to come. So big thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, bye.